sustainability and green energy, Viking heritage, welfare system, new Nordic food. Welcome to Denmark Explained, where we explore the rich tapestry of Danish culture, one captivating story at a time. King Frederik IV received word of the unfolding disaster from his royal chambers in Frederiksberg. Reports were frantic and conflicting. Some said the fire was contained, while others warned that it had reached the heart of the city. When the truth finally emerged, it was worse than he could have imagined. The king, though desperate to save his capital, faced an agonizing reality. His soldiers were ill-prepared to combat the Inferno. The idea of tearing down buildings ahead of the fire's advance, a strategy that could have slowed its spread, was met with resistance from property owners unwilling to see their homes sacrificed. By the time a decision was made, it was too late. The flames had already swallowed what could have been saved. But before we continue, please support the channel by pressing the like button, share and hit subscribe. Thank you. One of the greatest cultural losses occurred on the second night when the University of Copenhagen's library caught fire. Thousands of manuscripts, some dating back to the Middle Ages, were reduced to ash. Scholars and students risked their lives to save what they could, but the Inferno was merciless. The loss of knowledge was immeasurable. For days after the fire, survivors combed through the ruins in search of books that might have miraculously survived. Some fragments were found, singed pages fluttering among the wreckage, but the intellectual heart of Denmark had been gutted. By October 24th, the fire had finally burned itself out, leaving behind a skeletal cityscape. What was once a bustling capital was now a graveyard of charred beams and collapsed walls. The smell of smoke lingered for weeks, a constant reminder of the devastation. More than 20% of Copenhagen's population was homeless. The survivors, many of whom had lost everything, gathered in makeshift camps, their futures uncertain. Disease spread quickly among the displaced, adding to the death toll in the fire's aftermath. The city's leadership faced an impossible question. Should Copenhagen be rebuilt as it was, or should the tragedy be an opportunity to modernize? The old medieval layout had proven vulnerable. Narrow streets and flammable wooden structures had turned the city into a tinderbox. But to erase the past completely would mean surrendering to the fire's destruction. Rebuilding Copenhagen would take decades. Strict new regulations were introduced. Wooden houses and thatched roofs were banned, replaced by brick and tile. Streets were widened and the city's layout was reconsidered to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. However, the scars of 1728 remained long after the new building stood. Many of those who lost their homes never recovered, forced to leave Copenhagen for the countryside or other cities. The psychological toll on the citizens was immeasurable, an entire generation marked by the memory of fire and loss. The fire reshaped Copenhagen in ways that are still visible today. Its impact reached beyond architecture. It changed the way the city approached governance, disaster management, and urban planning. In a way, the fire had forced Copenhagen to modernize, but at a cost that could never be undone. If you were King Frederik IV standing among the ruins of Copenhagen, what would you have chosen? Would you rebuild the city as it was to preserve its history and identity, or embrace radical change to ensure a safer, more modern future? We hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us bring you more amazing content. Join us here at Denmark Explained, where we uncover the wonders of Danish culture one story at a time. See you in the next video.